All right, so what's going on? So I'm basically I just finished doing some shopping, and like when I was talking with my new proprietor and my new set, like, and there was a lot of things that I said that really would change her perspective. I've quoted different things like from different perspectives. Like I know Hindu, like there's a lot of like religions, basically different ways of looking things, and you know and there's one thing I said was that you should not never conform to this world, and but you can change the but allow God to transform you into a new you by changing the way you think. Then you will see what God's perfect will have in store for you. And that basically, like, it's a real touching one. And you know, I mean, everyone's just talking about, like, Alberta wants to separate, and they want to, just it's because, like, some people are well aware that our prime minister is really heading towards like the what's known as the New World Order, but the Bible calls it the Great Tribulation. Well, in my opinion, it's because Carney's his company Brookfield is one of the major sponsors of the World Economic Forum. I mean, there's a lot of half truths and news being spread about. I don't know what to believe in, and our media is just playing their roles, just stoking those flames, just to no surprise. And you know what? That doesn't surprise me either. You know what? Like I said, just like the Disturbed, herb, like in the Disturbed lyrics, the rabid media plays their role, stoking the flames of war to no surprise. Only too eager to sell their souls for the apocalypse must be televised. Well, one day, God will unleash his judgment, and he seeks out, because our Trinitarian God for us Christians, he seeks out our thoughts and intentions. I mean, and Steve Smith said it best: everyone becomes what their intentions are. And I mean, it's not about the stance. It's more about, like, what are they? What is it that you're trying to feel? What is it you're feeling that, like, is there someone, like, I mean, someone may look like they're in a bad position, but their their position doesn't even show or what they intend. And or someone may seemingly look benign, but you're getting a warning signal that their intentions are pretty much the opposite. So yeah, just like, and yeah, it's like, and it's like the you know Hindu monks use the analogy of seeds and weeds. Like, the weeds are the bad intentions, and the seeds are basically the good intentions. Like, it's like the wheat and the weeds. Like, the wheat is all the good people, and the weeds that have gone in there, like the darnel seed, are basically the bad ones. And then when the time comes, like, when the great harvest comes, all the weeds will be thrown into the fire. Like, I know, kind of mixing things up from two different perspectives of religion, but and another thing is that I'm starting to find that the more I hear about the M mark at the center of my right palm and the half moon that forms that arms when I fold my palms together, is that the more I realize that I hold something in greater that God has planned for the human race. And I mean, Muslims believe in a singular God, where all Hindus believe in two greater gods, Shiva and Vishnu, and a bunch of lesser ones, and then Buddhists don't believe in a personal God. But us Christians, we believe in a Trinitarian God, which is the Father, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. And it's kind of, when you think about that, but many people are just too much know-it-alls, and many of them are even fundamentalists that only see everything their way, and and that's just kind of like what's fueled the war since the beginning of time. Yeah, even since when Eve took the apple from the snake and was cast out of Eden with Adam. And, I mean, the trials of the greatest tribulation will be around the corner, and that's just about the way it goes. And, we must hold strong to our faith, and we don't know because one day faith is all we're going to have. But what little faith we have will determine in our destiny. I mean, life is short, but eternity is forever. And what you do in this life on this earth is determine where you will spend eternity. And I need to take. And heaven, the road to heaven is the hope. Is basically the road the less traveled, but it's got bumps, warps, perhaps even and it's a very rough surface. There's not even a shoulder that you can pull over on like a triple digit highway in Saskatchewan. Yeah, and there wouldn't even be any shoulder marking either. So, and I guess it's a concept that works, but to me, that's the only one I can use. But people are really starting to feel the warmth for Alberta to separate. But I'm sure Saskatchewan wants to do the same thing too. And the big thing is the immigration and every lie and half truth that the Laurentians are trying to feed their people. Yeah, basically, Alberta and Saskatchewan, if they separate, they basically be a haven. And people, we're going to live in a society where our DNA and personal info is controlled by microchips inside our bodies. And it won't be long before people start using havens to escape the ID control. But it's just going to be a hard one. But it's going to be a real hardship for us. But we got to keep having the faith. And, the Ethiopian Bible is what holds all 88 texts. And it will. One of them being the Book of Enoch. Because it would hold clues to those who seek the truth. Not just answers, but the whole truth. There are people there's those who worship God, and then there's those who seek the truth find their purpose and to, because there's those who want to who are willing to lead. One thing I think I should do is be kind of a bridge to the lost in finding, so that they can cross that bridge, that divide. Like, I mean, I've been through a lot of rough times myself, but but I just kept going. It's just, I guess that's just how I see it. Like, not everyone in your life is forever, and nothing ever lasts forever. So just make the most. I just have to make the most of my time. Like, that's just the way it is. Anyways, I'm gonna end this one in here because I've said enough. So until then, next time, just make sure that if you like what I'm talking about, be sure to subscribe. And I'll be back soon. Bye.